Hello. I've seen hundreds of ways on YouTube how to make hanger baskets properly, and there's more than one way of skinning a cat, but there's only one way to skin it properly. I'm going to show you the correct way of making the hanger basket liner and the compost you use to put in it to make your hanger basket successful. Of course, the key to any hanger baskets is actually correct watering and feed. Well, if you check my website out, www.thewaterguardian.ie, you'll see the perfect product. Right, so here we go. Get a compost bag. There's no point buying liners. Why spend £2 or £3 on a liner? This is perfect for the job. In fact, it's better than a lot of liners on the market. And then wicker baskets, you know, they haven't got enough drainage in. So when you buy a wicker basket, make sure you pull the polythene up from the bottom and cut a good 1.5 inches from it, so the water can go straight through. Because if you haven't got correct drainage, you're not going to grow plants. Don't think that if you have a liner in your basket or a polythene bag with no water holes in, you can have great baskets, because you're not. They're not going to grow unless the compost is moist. If you wet compost, plants don't grow in wet compost. They don't like wet compost. Wet compost is cold. They want warm compost with plenty of drainage. Now, this is how you do it. Compost bag, mark about 3 inches all the way around from the actual basket you're going to use. Okay, now this is important because when you push it in, all this access is going to go, you'll need that for the top. So, now what we do, we're going to cut round this here, and you'll end up with 2 liners, okay, top and bottom. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to get the liners, I want you to fold it in half, like so, and put a little crease in. I want you to fold that in half, put another little crease in, and I want you to fold that into a cone shape. This is very important. So that's what you've got, is the cone shape. I want you to cut 1 inch off the bottom, and about halfway up, a 1/2 inch off the side, and a 1/2 inch off this side. Okay, and you've got this, and then when you open it, that, believe it or not, is the drainage you need in a hanger basket. If you haven't got this type of drainage, you're not going to get successful hanger baskets. Now, we're going to have a pot, and we're going to put a hanger basket on it. Now the reason of this is, this is to help to stop the hanger basket rolling around when we're working on it. Now we have to decide at this point where the front's going to be. Well, there's your 2 side chains here, so I'm going to pick naturally where this chain goes to be my front. So this here is my front. So you get your basket, your liner. You can do this, just run a cut through here. Right? And the reason you're doing that is that will actually fold better. You put this into your basket, like so. To do is look at the compost. You can buy all this fancy special hanger basket compost, crystals that hold water. The most important ingredient in this hanger basket is compost. If you haven't got enough compost, it's not going to grow. So when you add in these crystals that expand and hold water, well, they do, but this is the problem. They're taking the place of the compost. They're expanding, and so you haven't got as much compost in the basket. And a lot of those products, they actually retain the water, but they don't give it to the compost. They actually hold it. So this is what we're going to do. Now what I use is multi-purpose peat-based. I find this to be the best. So what you do, you get your peat-based compost, and you put about half a hanger basket full in the hanger basket. Now, to help drainage even more, believe it or not, we're going to put something else in. But this is a product we're going to use recycled. The worst product, I think, in manufacturing in this modern world today is polystyrene. It never rots down. It's a curse. So I found a good way of using it. Now this is a television I had delivered, and this is the polystyrene that is around it. So what I do, I keep this in my greenhouse. The longer I keep it, the better it actually works. And what I do, I break the piece off about this big, and I fluff it up there. Okay, now that's a brilliant way of getting rid of this stuff, and you're actually doing the plants a world of good with it. So then what you're left with is this stuff here. I think in the market it's actually called vermiculite. You want about 2 handfuls of this, like this, in your compost. Now it doesn't matter if you're left with lumps, like this, doesn't matter. You can use them, but if you can break them up, break them up. So now we're going to mix it in like a cake, and that's going to create more drainage. As I say, I can't emphasise how important drainage is for hanging baskets. Now, the reason I'm going to use them is they are good value for money. They give a great show of colour, and if you've got wishy-washy colours, your baskets aren't working correctly.